First comments from Aaron Rodgers since returning as the Green Bay Packers quarterback. Tim Hasselbeck, Jeff Saturday, Sage Steele, Matt Berry alongside. I don't know how to put this as mildly as I can. That is the most unreal press conference that I have ever seen.
Incredible.
From a player still currently employed by that team. That was 7 months of frustration in one press conference. Tim Hasselbeck, I'm going to start with you. What did you make of everything we just heard from Aaron Rodgers?
Well, first off, that felt like a conversation you have with a player. That's like, hey, I'm going to say all this stuff to you, but you can't use it on TV. You can't say it. I'm going to let you know how I really feel about it here. That's what that felt like to me. Like, I thought when he was going to be like, hey, you guys were making a big deal of this. I know you're talking about we're good. We're on the same page. That was not it. I mean, running down the list of players that he felt were treated poorly on their way out by the organization. And because of the timeline of, those players pointing the finger directly at the front office that maybe never approached the player to say, hey, how would you feel about restructuring in order to stay here? So between being very clear about not being asked about, having input on the roster. Oh, by the way, cutting our second best receiver in training camp a year ago without even talking to me about it. Yeah, this is not a, hey, we're good. I mean, he went out there and essentially decided to continue to call out all of the mistakes that he feels like have been made there. That was remarkable. It felt like when you watched The Last Dance and you were like, man, Michael Jordan really said that about the front office? Like, if that were to happen today in the age of social media, people would be going crazy. Well, Aaron Rodgers just did it. Like he absolutely did that in this era. That was wild. Absolutely wild.
Yeah, Timmy, like this is what you would think a player will be saying to his agent, right? Like this is his venting session where he's just letting it rip and he just lets it all out. I mean, you listen, from you can tell he's been hanging around with Tampa Tom, right? Like the guy who's been out in Tampa and now feels pretty free to kind of say whatever he wants. The guy on Twitter who everybody loves to laugh at. You can tell they've been hanging around a little bit because he ain't afraid to say, hey, they come here because they want to play with me. They don't want to be, in Green Bay. They want to do this. They want to do that. And the truth is, it is honest, and he's being realistic. And I tell you the thing that stuck out the most to me is it's not necessarily the power dynamic, in my opinion. It's the kind of the Peyton Manning, the Tom Brady. When we talk about people who change culture in organizations, you can tell he wants to be known like that. Like that wants to be part of his legacy as a player. It's not just to be a great quarterback, 3-time MVP, Super Bowl champion. You can tell he wants to have more of a mark on the NFL. And when you talk about different guys, he wants to be in that conversation. And he said it bluntly. Listen, I want to have these roles. I want to be able to say this because I have been in this room. I do know what helps win in this organization. So when you heard it, folks, it doesn't get any more honest than what Aaron Rodgers just did. So from my perspective, he let it all out, and you guys ready to go play some football?
But then we have to say what's next. By the way, I will say all of the list of the players that he brought up, Matt and I were sitting here going, oh my goodness, he had it ready. And to bring up Charles Woodson, who last played in Green Bay in 2012, I mean, to me, it's just it was fascinating and phenomenal all at once. So now when he brings up saying, hey, I'm kind of an outlier. Sometimes there are outliers out there, right? You have all your players, and you have a couple people that I'm different, and I should be consulted. So if you are Gutekunst and if you are LaFleur, how do you take what he just told the world and what changes? How do you adjust starting today and how you handle Aaron Rodgers?
Well, I mean, I think that's going to make the situation better. Go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I think what Green Bay did was the perfect solution. They've already offered the olive branch. Like, when the GM gets up or Mark Murphy gets up, hey, what he just said in his press conference, listen to it. Silence is wisdom. Don't say anything. Like, hey, man, he's here. We're excited he's here. We're going to continue to try to grow this relationship. We just signed Cobby. We're going to try to get Devontae Adams signed. We got Amari Rodgers who's coming in. Whatever guys he's trying to get signed here and stay here to build this core, that's what ultimately will help keep Aaron Rodgers there. So if you're any of those guys, again, just keep your mouth shut. That will go a long way to keeping this relationship on the right road. He's like, silence is wisdom at times. I hope the Green Bay Packers front office stays silent and just keeps moving forward, because, again, it's both he and the organization's best opportunity to win a Super Bowl and stay together for the long term.
Yeah, I see it a little bit differently, because I think this was Aaron's chance to blast the organization for leaks this whole offseason. He was really clear. He said, look, it wasn't athletes first. It wasn't them leaking. What would have been the benefit for my agency or for me to be leaking stuff that was coming out? So, like, this to me was like, hey, this is my chance, okay? I was silent. You guys decided to leak a bunch of stuff. I don't know what the purpose was for that, and now I'm calling you out on it. And this was calculated. You talk about going through the list of names, Sage. Look, that was prepared. He kept looking down at his notes of things that he wanted to say. And he was calculated and clear about not turning off the Packer fan base, making it abundantly clear that he loves the Green Bay Packers, loves playing in that stadium, loves the tradition of it, all of that stuff. But hey, I'm different. Don't treat me, the way you treat every other player. I deserve more respect than that, and I deserve more respect than the way you've started to treat me by drafting my replacement. And so you're not going to do to me what you did to Jordy and what you did to Charles and what you did to other players on the way out. That was remarkable, absolutely remarkable. And I don't think it made the situation better. I think it just basically said to everyone, look, I'm in charge here now.
There you go, because that's what we were talking about during that. It was very calculated. You're 100% dead on. This was 7 months built up for one press conference. And the question was asked, and you had to ask it, if there was going to be an opportunity for him to close his career with the Green Bay Packers. Saturday, start with this one. Based on what we saw and heard today and what he really believes about the people running the organization and how he literally just eviscerated them and embarrassed them on national TV, I don't think there's a chance this goes by one more year based on how he just made them look on TV.
Yeah, listen, I think pride before the fall, right? Like, you got to die to your pride on this if you're the Packers organization. Again, you have your best opportunity to win Super Bowls with Aaron Rodgers right now. I'm telling you, man, Jordan Love walks in, whether it's this year or next year, it's not the same. So whatever you have to do to keep yourself together, because if Aaron Rodgers walks out the door and Tom Brady's you're going to lose your job anyway. So as hard as it is, I think you swallow your pride and try to make this relationship work. I don't know if you can, but at least you have an opportunity. You got another year to try it.
My position on this has been if they win a Super Bowl this year, Aaron Rodgers is back and everybody he doesn't want around is not. If they don't win a Super Bowl this year, he was going to end up somewhere else anyway. So that's how I think this was scheduled to play out, and I think now he just made it abundantly clear by what he said that that's what's going to happen.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.